Hey everybody, happy Thanksgiving. First of all, I'll start off with apologies. It's been a while since I've given a report for Oconee. I'm going to do that here in just a second. One of the reasons, hey, I'm Captain Doug. One of the reasons that we have is that we have been so busy. Last year, I think I did 171 trips last year on just on Oconee. And when our governor announced in March the whole shelter-in-place thing, the lake went crazy. You guys have been fishing on it. You know what I'm talking about. God, it turned into the 4th of July every day. The phone has been ringing off the hook. And just kind of so you know, the next trip that I do, today is Tuesday. I got a trip Friday and Saturday. The next trip that I will do will be the 303rd trip that has, now I haven't, that's 303 that I've, other guys have fished. I mean, but that's 303 that have just come through me. Can you imagine just what the other guys are doing? So it has been crazy on this lake. Got like 6 or 7 captains that help, but then we actually put like 3 more guys in our circle this year. And in all honesty, we still can't do all the trips. So that's why I haven't done one of these in a long time. And so apologies. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I really got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I don't want to take a whole lot of time and make this a real lengthy podcast, but the weather is finally getting right. It's supposed to be 28 degrees tonight, and that is nothing but good news for us. Let's talk about crappie fishing first. The best way to describe all of this fishing season has been the word weird. Right now, we should be long line trolling and killing them. I look back on my logs for the past eons, and long line trolling it goes on. Now, there are a few guys right now between the bridges there at Lick Creek, and I've heard that some have had really good success. But this will blow your mind. I had a friend 2 weeks ago. The water was 67 degrees, and they pull up on a brush pile and caught 75, he told me, of the biggest crappie that he has ever seen 2 weeks ago. Today is December 1st. That is so amazing, because typically my brush pile fishing, excuse me, it is done, I don't know, by October. So it has been weird. One of the reasons that we think the longline bite hasn't just kicked off yet and is because of the drawdown on Sinclair. I've got it in my logs. Oh, I don't know how many years ago it was, but it's when all the crappie fishermen was Big George, Santa Claus, Mr. Jennings, all them cats that I used to run with. They were old as Methuselah. But a drawdown happened on Sinclair, and it was right in the middle of good crappie fishing here, up here where I live, up on the Appalachie. Those guys were moaning and groaning and cussing. They were so mad because apparently the bite, when Sinclair is drawn down, for some voodoo reason, it messes them up here. And I can remember, I saw it the other day in my logs, that Jennings and Santa Claus and just all of them, they were out of their minds mad. They need to get that water back up. And it really was. I was out there with them. So the fishing was horrible back, I don't know, 20 years ago when I posted this stuff. Hey, if somebody knows, please go to this on this YouTube and go in the comment section and tell us why it's so bad on Oconee whenever it gets like that on Sinclair when they do the drawdown, because I really don't have an answer. But it's just not been great. It has made, I guess, the brush pile fishing go on for a longer time. Oh, here's some information for you. You guys know I love brush pile crappie fishing in summertime. And I found some rods this year, and they still may have them. If they haven't, you need to buy them. But all my customers, we do single pole jigging. You know, everybody's holding a rod. And B&M put those Duck Commander rods on sale. Now, I remember way back when those rods first came out, I remember at Academy, I grabbed one. I'm like, ooh, this thing is nice. I'm going to get me one of these. I scanned it, and it was like $108. I'm like, oh, no. Well, they got them on, or they had them on sale. I guess they still got them, but they were like 35 bucks. I bought me, I don't know, 8 or 9. They are such good rods for brush pile fishing, and they got a little handle on them on the end, so I can just stick them in my rocket launchers when we move from brush pile. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in. Some of you guys wanted to know my setup. I use 10-pound braid on the reels. I use inline reels, which kind of looks like an ice fishing reel. 10-pound braid, runs all the way down to a 1/2 ounce trolling sinker. And then I use, I don't know, 18 inches of, I think it's 10-pound fluorocarbon. Probably don't need fluorocarbon, but I'm just kind of anal retentive about that stuff. And that's what we use to brush pile fish. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think I lost 1 weight this year. Typically when you get hung, you just pop them off, because I'm using like those, I think it's a number 2 Aberdeen, gold Aberdeen hook. And the hook's just been right, you know, just straighten right out and come off. So I've really enjoyed fishing those rods. Any of you customers that are watching this, you know, they're cool. But if I had to say, there's no way that, you know, the water is probably in the low 60s after tonight. There's no way those fish are going to be on brush piles. Somebody will make a liar out of me, watch. But between the bridges, on the other side of Old Phoenix and that timber out there, Sandy Creek, Rocky Creek, all up there at Richland, the kind of behind that island there at across from the Ritz, that's all real good long line trolling. But I gotta be honest with you, I just haven't seen a lot of guys out there. I know there's some guys that are catching, and they're really, really, really good crappie fishermen. But I just hadn't, it's just not, like, you don't see it flooded on Facebook right now. And the guys that I'm talking to at the ramp, it's starting, but it hadn't gone into full swing yet. And it's kind of weird, because I think last night was a full moon, and it should have been really good. You know what? Probably by the time this video drops, it'll probably be on fire. I mean, it's just, you know, I don't think nobody's really out fishing today, as windy and cold as it is. But I guess my point is, if you hadn't got your boat set up yet for longline trolling, now is the time to do it. And these fish are going to be big when they show up. What more do I need to say about that? That's probably it. Of course, you can go to Sugar Creek Marina, get all the colors, you know, all the different grubs. I hate pulling double jigs. My expression is, I hate it with the heat of a Nova. But they just seem to work better. I got a friend named Buddy who pulls singles, and he seems to be pretty successful of it. And with it, I just wish he would give me some lessons or something. Oh, sorry about that. He would give me some lessons or something. But double jigs seem to be the way. Double 16th is kind of what I go to and go with to start. And it should be on really soon. Let's talk about stripers just a second. This has been weird. This has been weird. I just want to start off by saying the last couple of weeks, I've caught some of the biggest hybrids that I've probably caught all year long. I don't even know what to say. Our pump back bite never really took off. And it's so hard. You know, us fishing guides here, we don't just have to deal with fish that don't want to bite. We got to deal with fish that don't want to bite and Georgia Power trying to figure out what they're going to do. Because what they do dramatically increases the success or not having success when you take customers out. All the Lanier guys, any of you guys watching this, I know summertime is y'all's like favorite. I get so jealous of you. You get the thermocline, take the baits. I went fishing with one buddy, Jeff Blair, one time. We were dropping blueback herring. I am not kidding. We were on a boat dropping blueback herring 100 feet down. I have caught red snapper in shallower water than I caught them stripers that day. But here we don't get the thermocline because of the pump back. But we have found out that in the summertime when they do the pump back, that's a good time for us to be down there because in that morning, and it's, in so many ways, it's better than the Lanier summertime bite because we run down there before the sun comes up. We fish, you know, the pump back, it typically lasts, in the good old days, it typically lasts 4 hours. Customers put 30, 40 fish in the boat. Everybody's happy. You go back and you're back at home early. It's kind of like what Joey Mines told me one time. I catch these fish and I'm back at home and I don't miss an episode of Days of Our Lives. That's how the pump back bite was. It has not been like that this year. There's probably a reason behind it, but it hasn't been that good until now. I have never caught fish this late on the pump back. Again, maybe it's just that voodoo, witchcraft, whatever that's coming up out of Sinclair and affecting the lake. But I'm telling you right now, if you go down there, this was last week, I'm just guessing. If you go down there right now and there's water movement down there in current, you can expect to catch a lot of stripers and hybrids. I have taken live bait down there and just store-bought minnows. I've not thrown the net in a while, but just taking store-bought minnows and going down there. Getting down there as early as you possibly can. And if there's current, if you see the lights flashing when you get down there, that is a plus because this is kind of how we feel. Whenever the lights go off, you got 2 hours left of good fishing. And let me tell you why that is, because DNR guy, Georgia Power guys explained this to me. All that water's coming back in the lake, right? And when they turn the pumps off, it's kind of like jumping in the end of a swimming pool. The water comes back, and it kind of gets settled. And it's hard to believe that that would happen, but I'm telling you, it does. We can start our boats off. When the lights are off, we can have our boats pointed in one direction. And you can slowly watch those boats as the current comes in. You'll be like facing up current and the lights will be off and you're like, look at all this stuff running by all this current going by the boat. And then there's something about that 2 hours of fishing after the lights are out. It really makes it good. I think this year we've seen more schooling activity. My God, I actually had a guy catch a couple of fish on a fly rod, if you can believe that, this year. My buddy Wayne, Captain Wayne's been in there doing fly fishing trips. I've seen them hook up a bunch with the schooling activity. But you'll watch the boats turn. And when the current, you know, and this is, if you're going down there today, tomorrow, anytime soon, you just know that don't leave if there's current. If you can look at the back of your motor and you see like the water moving a little bit, don't leave. Stay right there. Don't leave until there is no current, because you'll get a lull there to where those fish, they just kind of go away. And then all of a sudden, if there's current, they'll come back in and they'll start blowing up again. So it has never happened this late. I'm shocked. Normally, this time of year, all the seagulls are here. We are chasing birds, throwing artificials, and just having a big hootenanny. And I don't know, there might be 100 gulls that I've seen on the lake. They're coming, but they hadn't gotten here thick yet. And it's been weird. It's just been a weird year. Down at the dam 2-3 weeks ago, picked up a group from the Ritz. Absolutely caught the biggest flathead catfish I have ever hooked on this lake. Now, I've caught 30-pounders, but when I didn't have a net that big, and I left my saltwater gloves in the other boat, so my buddy threw me a net, and when the fish come to the top, and he bit a spoon, if you can believe that. When I stuck the net over his head, like it cleared like that much on either side. And I'm like, there was like 4 more foot of fish hanging out. I'm like, I can't even, this ain't going to work. So I threw the net back to him, and I tried to boga grip. You know, a flathead, this bottom of his mouth's like a saucer. And so 5 or 6 times it slipped off. Luckily, they took all the pictures of it. And by the way, I don't really want to be known as a cat fisherman. No offense to you cat fishermen guys, but anyhow. But he ended up, I couldn't grab him, and, you know, I wasn't about to run my hand in his mouth or in his gills, because I know that would pay a dear price. It ended up breaking the spoon off, and it went down there. Everybody high-fived, had pictures. I dropped down, I'm not making this up. I grabbed the rod, dropped down another spoon, and the guy was asking me, how big do you think he was? I'm like, well, and I dropped the spoon down, and I caught another one. I'm talking about on the first drop. Handed the rod to them. They followed it around and around and around. Got a lot of people, you know, that was like up real close to the boat. And my buddy Tom, when that fish come up, I'm like, I can net this one. And my buddy Tom threw me the net. I kid you not. I just went down and scooped the fish, scooped him right up, put him in the boat, wasn't no big deal. That fish weighed 27 pounds. I'm guessing that flathead was 50 plus. Never seen a catfish that big, but caught it at the dam on the pump back with a white jigging spoon. It's weird. It's just been weird. Want to tell you about the Derby. It starts February 20th. I'm so excited. Just around the corner. We're going to have a ball. It's going to be great. All the prizes this year are Yeti stuff. And I don't know if you looked at the Yeti website lately, but man, they got some really, I mean, they're more than just coolers now. We're going to be giving away Yeti backpacks. They've got a thing called a lowland blanket. I could kick myself for doing this too, because I hand sew quilts. I've made them for my grandchildren. I take their old shirts, like when they're babies, and cut out the little design, and I hand stitch the whole thing. And I've always used Thinsulate as backing. I told my wife one time, I said, you know, it'd be really cool if you had a blanket that was like Thinsulate and Gore-Tex. I bet I could sell 1 million of them. Yeti did it. And they're like $199. We're going to be giving away blankets for a week win, backpacks, the loadout buckets. Of course, we'll have some coolers too. But in this is a cool part. In the grand prizes, they're going to be real cash heavy. I know everybody likes cash. And the reason we're making the changes is because when I first started doing this tournament, this will be our 7th year, by the way. I really wanted the grand prizes to be really simple. We give away a lot of hummingbird depth finders and things like that. And I could kind of get them for a pretty good deal because, you know, we only had like 30 people in the tournament. So you didn't have enough cash. You really had to take the cash and create a higher value. And so we had a lot of good sponsors. Hummingbird has always best units in the world. They have always helped me out here. And appreciate it so much, guys. You just don't know how much. Got a brand new Apex unit out. I have no idea what that is. I got to hook up with my man, Brother Bill Carson, to find out. But there's a new Ocean Master chip that I digress. But they've made this tournament to be what it is. And thank you for all you guys that have purchased hummingbirds, that have called me to talk about how much you like it. They're really awesome units. But having said that, now, like last year we had 50, I don't remember, 51, 52 people. That's a lot of people for the Derby. That was the biggest group we've ever had. This year, I'm anticipating even more. But using the numbers from last year, if we just get 50 people, and we're doing a Calcutta this year too, which is like another $50 that you add, but it opens up like a bonus points. We got tag fish that you can catch. The first big fish that comes to the scale wins $500. That's like either the first crappie that's 2 pounds and over, or the first striper that's 10 pounds and over. One or the other. We're only going to give one prize out. It's going to be a $500 cash prize. Jessie Smith, little Jessie at Sugar Creek Marine, she says, I'm getting in it and I'm going to fish off my dock. And I'm like, dock fish count. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm so looking forward to it. I'll be telling you more about it in the days to come. You guys, if you're not on the mailing list, just when you see this, just text me at this number, and real easy. Text me your name, text me your email, and at the number you see at the bottom of the screen, I'll get you on the mailing list, and you'll be able to keep up with all the things that's going on. But it starts February 20th. It runs for 8 weeks, and we give weekly prizes, 8 weekly prizes for the biggest striper and the biggest crappie in week 1. So, and I try to explain it, but I get so excited about it sometimes I don't get the details just right. But basically, whoever wins week 1, the next week the board goes to 0. So it might have been a 2-pound crappie that won week 1, and it could be an 8-pound striper, but next week it goes to 0 again. So it could be a 1.5 pound fish that wins week 2. It could be a pound fish that wins week 7. And it just goes on like that. Of course, the 3 largest overall fish, the 3 largest crappie, the 3 largest stripers, they get the grand prizes. And it's thousands of dollars in cash right now. I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors that just make this thing what it is. Y'all are so much fun to work with. I did something last year that I'm so glad I did. I just went with all local guys, and it was just so much easier, and it really helped the local community. So we're excited about that. Can't wait. Registration will open January 1st, New Year's Day. There'll be a link that I'll be sending out to everyone. You can go on there. It's $150 to get in the tournament. If you want to get into Calcutta, and I strongly suggest that you do, that would be an additional $50. Like I said, bonus points. And here's the thing. In our bonus points category, and I can send you information about that, but every time you weigh a fish in and take the lead through the whole tournament, you get 100 bonus points. We keep a leaderboard of that. Every day it's updated. So that actually means that you could take the lead 2 or 3 times a week. Somebody bump you out at the last, and you would still win a prize. Or you would win whatever the Calcutta is. And how we're going to do that is that if the tag fish is weighed in, that'll be $500. And it's set, I'm saying this, it's set up on if 40 people get into Calcutta. But if no tag fish is weighed in, that money is rolled over to the bonus points leader. So theoretically, you could not have a fish on the leaderboard for at the end of the week and still win thousands of dollars, depending on how many people get on. If 40 get in, you could win $1,000. So, hey, it's a pretty good investment. Of course, there will be podcasts that we do once a week. If you have an iPhone, you'll be in the group text. That is worth its weight in gold. And hopefully, this COVID thing will be lifted. And by May, when we're supposed to have our awards ceremony, we'll all be able to get together and do that. That is so much fun. I kind of did this off the cuff, really didn't have any notes. If there is any questions that you have, if you need information about where and how to fish the lake, just shoot me a text. And of course, I'm always here to help. I've always believed that you can catch a lot more fish cooperating and working together than you can running around the lake trying to keep it all to yourself. This is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life that God has blessed me with. I kid you not. There are days I wake up, most every day, and it's just hard to get my head around how much the Almighty has blessed me. I've got such a wonderful wife, got awesome kids. Y'all probably saw the pictures of the grandkids. Got 8 wonderful grandchildren. They all come over here and get in the garage and tell them which boat they're going to own when I die. Probably need to check them on that because it's, you know. But I have a great life. And I'm not saying that in hubris. Please, my God, please don't. Do I deserve it? No. Is it because I'm smart? By no means is it. It's just because that I've got such wonderful friends like I have in every one of y'all. My clients, I've got right at 2,000 clients now that have just been an absolute blessing. Some of them have left this life and they still carry a huge mark. And I just thank God. I thank God for for George Cox, for Santa Claus, for all the Jerry Whitlock, for all those guys that kind of brought me into their circle to help me learn how to do this. They could have just as easily said no. So I have reached a point that I am right now in my life because people have been good to me, and I want to do the same thing, which is why we do the Derby. I mean, we do the Derby to raise awareness of striper fishing and not crappie fishing and all that stuff. And but it's mainly because I want to give something back. So, you know, it kind of sounds like the ending of a Christmas talk, I know, but I just want you to know how much I appreciate you guys, how much I enjoy the phone calls. If you see me on the water, you know, and you go, "Hey, Doug," and if I say, "I'm sorry, what's your name?" Please don't take that wrong, because I know a lot of people and everybody's got, you know, the same kind of boats. And my wife will tell you right now, if I'm looking for the milk in the refrigerator, it can be right in front of me and I don't see it. So sometimes I will need some help. But don't ever, ever, ever feel like if I'm out there fishing, you cannot approach my boat and ask me questions. I'm there for you. I want to help because I've seen the incredible joy that it has brought people, young people, when they catch their first big fish. I love to hear people say, "That's the biggest crappie I ever caught in my life," or "That's the biggest striper I ever caught," or "That's the first striper I've ever caught in my life." That just does my heart so good. And I want to pass it on. Since this COVID-19 thing is hit, there's been a lot of depression. There's been a lot of people that cannot, they just having a hard time dealing with it. And so the opportunities that we have had on Lake Oconee, me and all of my wonderful guides that help me out, it has been our blessing. So if I don't make another podcast between now and Christmas, I just want you all to know, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, go to church, be involved in somebody's life, help somebody. Don't be an old cantankerous sourpuss out there on the water. If somebody asks you a question, share the knowledge, because this great sport that we have is a gift from God. In closing, let me just say, when Jesus was looking for people to run his business, he sought out fishermen first. That's how special you are. I love you. See you soon. Have a happy Christmas.